See, I got a phone call from Suge one time.
He's out of prison.
He said Cal ain't big enough for me, him, and Puff.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, I say, when you moving? Because I just bought a house.
You know.
Man, I grew up in the Galileo project.
right.
Ain't nobody gonna solve press me, man.
Right.
I don't care who you is.
Back in the wild West Coast chaos of the late 90s, three things ruled Los Angeles: earthquakes, traffic, and Suge Knight.
He was not scared of Suge Knight. They was terrified of Suge Knight.
Right.
I mean, terrified.
I know.
No, to death.
And let's keep it real. Earthquakes shook the ground, traffic wasted your time, but Suge, he could end your whole future with just a look. This dude didn't just walk into a room, he took over the whole atmosphere like a dark cloud rolling in.
Everybody else was scared of everybody. That's when Suge Knight was the monster, the boogeyman.
Everybody at that time was deadly afraid of shit.
Suge was the industry's walking nightmare. Nobody dared test him. He ran LA like it was his personal kingdom. So when someone new hit the scene and didn't show Suge the proper respect, that wasn't just gutsy, it was basically playing with fire. Now enter Master P, but don't get it twisted. P wasn't just some southern rapper trying to ride the West Coast wave.
I was working against the devil, and through the grace of God, Master P put a deal together.
He showed up from New Orleans with a different energy. He had hustle in his blood, a mind built for business, and a game plan that made Suge's fear tactics look weak. Suge ruled with threats, P ruled with vision and loyalty. P once said, "I was working against the devil, and through the grace of God, I put a deal together." His mission? Dead simple. Artists should own their music, not get played by shady contracts and greedy execs. That right there, it flipped the whole industry on its head. And trust, it ruffled feathers. Suge wasn't feeling it. Diddy and Birdman were peeping from the sidelines like, wait, who's this dude shaking the table?
They spent all this money on your album and marketing, but wasn't getting no way out ass money. On No Limit had money. Everybody on No Limit had a house, a car, two in a bank account.
Master P wasn't just building a label. He was building a movement. No Limit Records didn't just hand out checks, it handed out power. In a game full of traps and fake deals, P gave his artists money, recognition, and ownership. Total game changer. No Limit wasn't just some label, it was a full-blown takeover. This wasn't slow heat, it caught fire fast. Suge Knight was used to sitting on the West Coast throne like a rap king. But when Master P showed up, he didn't blink, didn't bow, and definitely didn't ask permission. No Limit made one thing clear. They weren't kneeling to nobody. And P?
Puffy and them was rocking, but they wasn't getting no money like Master P was. And I had been around they camp, I had been around Def Jam, I was on Death Row.
He stood tall and proud. I've never been afraid of no man. While Suge was out here throwing punches and making enemies, Master P was flipping deals and stacking generational wealth. By the time he landed in LA, he wasn't trying to find a seat. He was building his own table.
I had seen all the that supposedly had the money. Master P had the money.
True independence.
He had the money.
Then things really got hot because P made a move nobody saw coming. He went straight for a West Coast icon, Snoop Dogg. At that time, Snoop had just come off a homicide trial. Dr. Dre had already left the chaos behind, and Tupac, tragically gone.
I told Snoop, we the biggest company in the world now. If he needed a home, why not be with us?
Death Row Records, the label that once ruled the coast, was falling apart fast. Suge ran Death Row like a boss in a battlefield, but lawsuits, police heat, and nonstop beef had the label barely breathing by '97.
It's my job to keep that on top of the rap game. Ever since we've been in it, we've been on top, so I can't let us fall.
The empire was collapsing and fast, and Snoop, he was trapped in all that mess.
Years don't get much more emotionally trying than the one Snoop Doggy Dogg has just gone through. Surviving a murder trial.
Not guilty of the crime of murder in the first.
His career was getting tossed around like it didn't matter, caught in the wreckage of what Death Row used to be. He needed a way out, desperately. That's when Master P stepped in like a real one and threw him a lifeline. No snakes, no shady contracts, just a clean break and a new beginning.
Death Row Records mastermind Marion Suge Knight has been in lockdown for violating state probation by beating the hell out of some guy at a Las Vegas casino.
P saw the glow in Snoop. He knew this wasn't just another rapper caught in drama. Snoop was a legend in the making, and P had the blueprint to push him to the next level. P didn't sugarcoat it either. We're repping the South and we're running things now. Why not roll with us? The industry couldn't believe what just went down. Suge Knight's crown jewel had flipped sides.
But Suge became too invested in hood politics that brought the business down.
Snoop Dogg, the face of Death Row, had just linked up with the Southern General himself, Master P. That sent shockwaves through the whole rap world. Suge, he wasn't about to just sit there and watch it happen. Not a chance. He tried everything to keep Snoop under control, but Master P, he didn't budge an inch.
Suge was in jail, but that doesn't mean Suge is not still coming at it.
This wasn't just about music, it was freedom from the fear that used to run the whole game. Back then, everybody moved careful around Suge, except P.
My business was garbage back then, Death Row Records. I let them control everything because I trusted them and I felt like they wouldn't do me wrong. They put me in the game.
Master P wasn't scared. No threats, no pressure, no mind games. He stayed solid.
Everything was in Suge Knight's name. Business accounts was his accounts. Manager was his wife. Imagine all of that being twisted up like an octopus. On top of that, I was being just disrespected like, oh, he's whack.
And guess what? He pulled it off, locked it down.
Oh, I told Snoop, we the biggest company in the world now. If he needed a home, why not be with us?
Buying Snoop's freedom didn't come cheap. It took a couple million. But P didn't just throw money around. He made it official with extra cash and straight up respect. No chaos, no shady stuff.
That's when Master P stepped in and gave me a better situation.
I respected Snoop as an artist. I was a fan. I felt like Snoop needed a team.
Once the paperwork was signed, it was done. Snoop was officially a no-limit soldier. And this wasn't just a headline. It flipped Snoop's whole life around. His very first show, repping No Limit, fans lost their minds. The crowd energy was insane. They were ready for the new Snoop, and they showed up with nothing but love. Snoop was back. From teaming up with Mystical to finally getting his money and business right, Master P had him laser focused on leveling up.
Master P went to go visit Suge Knight in the penitentiary and struck a deal.
Death Row had to sell Snoop to keep the business rolling. No Limit, we could make a business move like that.
By 1999, Snoop dropped his second No Limit project, Top Dog, and it blew up the charts. It was straight heat. Snoop ended up doing 3 major albums under P's wing. But wait, here's where the twist hits. Snoop wasn't just changing labels, he was gearing up for payback.
I met with Suge Knight and said, look, man, what you want for Snoop? I heard that you got a deal on the table.
After signing with No Limit, he started plotting a full-on diss album aimed directly at Suge Knight. The title, Forget Death Row? Yeah, it was gonna be raw, no filter.
Conversation, they got to understand it. Worked out some numbers.
Told me what it was. And I put an extra $200,000 or $300,000 on.
A whole project ready to unload years of betrayal, bitterness, and straight-up rage. For Snoop, this was more than music. It was therapy. He wanted to let it all out, track by track, and finally say everything he'd been holding in. But Master P, he knew better. That move, way too risky. Suge's people still had pull in the streets, and dropping that kind of heat, it wouldn't just stir drama, it could bring real danger. The beat was done. The lyrics, already locked in. Snoop was fired up and ready to go. But Master P, always cool, always calculating, stepped in and shut it down. Don't do it.
He showed me how to put business because I hadn't had a record label. I was always talking that doggy style, but I didn't have no record label. Master P showed me how to put a label together, how to go get money.
And it wasn't about being scared. It was strategy. P was thinking bigger. He saw what Snoop couldn't at the time. Dropping that album might have lit the wrong fire. Suge still had street soldiers.
And I told him I wanted $3,500 because I was broke and I was just like, could he get some money? P gave me a check for $35,000. All right, he put another zero on that motherfucker. It's my kind of nigga.
He still had influence. And P wasn't about to let Snoop walk into a setup he might not walk out of. So that diss album?
Oh my God, we own it now.
I was like, ooh, I wanted to get on it, but damn, it wasn't my album, it wasn't my song.
Down with No Limit, all right, for the come.
Gone. Canceled. And just like that, P didn't just save Snoop's career, he might have saved his life. Even Snoop would later say it. Master P made the call that kept him alive. Because back then, leaving Death Row wasn't just leaving a label, it was full-on rebellion. And in that world, rebellion had real consequences.
I did 3 albums with Master P.
3 albums.
Yeah, when I left Death Row Records, I signed with No Limit Records, which was the hottest rap label in the industry.
This is true.
When I signed with No Limit Records, they was the hottest.
Then came 1998, the I Got the Hookup Comedy Jam in Universal City. The place was packed. The energy was wild.
Master P, he had a plan for us. He ran down what he thought that should happen as far as music, albums, movies.
But while the crowd was laughing and vibing out front, behind the scenes, it was a whole different story. Snoop was laid back in the green room, chilling and minding his business. Everything felt calm, until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, 7 dudes dressed in black rolled up, Death Row affiliates. You could feel the tension shift.
So in 1998, Master P did a I Got the Hookup Comedy Jam at the Universal Amphitheater in Universal City, California.
I'm a big fan of Master P, and I'm just looking forward. He's just constantly breaking history.
One of them leaned in close and hissed, "You owe Suge an apology." Snoop was like, "For what?" Word flew quick. Master P's crew was still on stage when they got wind of what was happening.
We went on the stage, and Dog got left.
He was in the green room, so this is what happened. But we sitting on the inside. Death Row guys walk up. So we chopped it up. 5 minutes later, it's about 7 of them around me. I ain't paying attention, so the soldiers then went on stage. Now I'm back here talking to these Death Row by myself.
They didn't hesitate. They dropped the mics mid-performance and rushed the back. Camo shirts flying, red bandanas flashing, backstage turned into straight-up chaos. Chairs flew, fists flew. The air got thick fast. It was go time. Within minutes, the whole scene turned into a battle zone.
End up yapping and yapping and yapping. They talking behind my ear. So I'm like, let me holler at you. So now they were like, you owe Suge apology. I'm like, Suge? Like, what?
Cops stormed in strapped and shouting, while helicopters circled above Universal City like it was a full-blown action flick. And Snoop, man, he ended up running right into the cops, got scooped up on sight. "They threw me in the back of the squad car," he later said. While the chaos kept exploding, nobody knew where Snoop even was. Word on the street was that Death Row's crew had jumped him. People were panicking, confused. It was a total mess. And somehow, Snoop ended up in a holding cell with Ray J. Yes, Ray J. It was like they'd accidentally walked onto the set of some wild prison drama. You couldn't write this stuff if you tried. But even in all that madness, one thing stood tall.
Snoop was talking crazy to them, and they called him slipping.
Hey, now I'm back here talking to these Death Row niggas by myself. Try to take off on me. Whoa, he missed. I get out of there.
Master P wasn't the one to play with. That night proved it. He wasn't just a rapper, not just a business mind. He was a boss in every sense. No Limit had gone from a label to a movement.
They literally ran off the stage in the middle of the performance.
And boom, and everybody was like running out the gate, so we run after.
DJ's got the record spinning. There's gunshot.
I get a whiz, no cuts, no scars, no hits, no nothing, but I run right into the law with weed in my pocket and everything because I'm trying to save my life. They handcuffed me. He put me in the back of the police car.
To a straight-up shield for anyone under its banner.
They didn't know where Snoop was. They're screaming, "Where the is Snoop? Snoop all right?" The 20 cops aiming shotguns at him. They're screaming back, "You all need to get on your knees. Everybody on your knees." And they're like, "We ain't getting on our knees."
Once the smoke cleared, Snoop was locked in.
They take me and my cousin Daz to jail, and when we get in there, Ray J's in there. So we spend 4 hours in jail with Ray J. I ain't making this up, man.
Limit did prove to Snoop that we had his back.
He's not with Death Row no more. He's with No Limit. Nobody's messing with Snoop. That's it.
No Limit for life. And P, he didn't slow down for a second. He hit a whole new gear. Music was just phase 1. Then he came for Hollywood. No Limit Films dropped hits like I Got the Hookup and Hot Boys, and then P locked in a $10 million deal with Trimark. The studios didn't just want him on screen, they wanted him running the whole operation. And just when you thought he'd done it all, P stepped into the wrestling world too. WCW called, and he made it happen. Secured a $2 million bag easy.
In 1999, we want to expand our brand, so we did action movies, and we were able to sell that in about 30 different territories.
And that's how Master P got a $10 million 5-picture deal with Trimark. Nobody in hip-hop was doing that. Nobody.
We expanded, and y'all just might see me on Scream 3 too.
He wasn't chasing championship belts, he was chasing big money. That's Master P's whole playbook, switch it up, level up, and take over. But he still wasn't done. P made a serious move toward the NBA. No joke, the Toronto Raptors gave him a preseason shot.
Had a $3 million one-year deal on the table. And the next day, they decided to go a different direction because Vince Carter, agent Tank, had got in trouble.
Same court as Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. And here's the kicker. He actually held his own out there. No gimmicks, no charity. He earned his minutes. A $3 million NBA contract was this close to happening until front office politics came through and froze the whole deal. Still, let's be real. Master P went from spit bars in the booth to running drills with NBA legends. Who else is doing that? And through all of it, he stayed real, never switched up. While Suge Knight's empire crumbled under violence, drama, and a monster ego, Master P was out here building something solid. A legacy built on brains and bold moves. That whole check-in game? Yeah, they tried the wrong one. Master P didn't just walk through the heat, he strutted through it and came out gleaming. The music industry's biggest bully finally ran into someone who wouldn't fold, and P walked away with the crown in his hand.
Basically got ran out of there. You went to the Bay. Once you get on the West Coast, shit get real on the Bay.
By the early 2000s, Suge was locked up, but still running his mouth like he owned the whole rap game. From behind bars, he gave one of the wildest prison interviews ever, full of smoke aimed straight at Master P.
You lied and said you came to visit me in prison, which you never did. You said you got Snoop for me, which you never did. I sold Snoop bitch ass to Priority Records, Brian Turner.
Suge said P wasn't a pioneer, just a copycat. Claimed P didn't create anything, just copied the death row blueprint. According to Suge, P moved from New Orleans to Texas, slid through the Bay, and finally landed in LA. And that's when, in Suge's words, things started to rub me the wrong way. He even clowned P's whole squad, said they weren't built for that street life. But he didn't stop there. Suge took shots at No Limit's entire music catalog too. He tried to compare it to the legendary Death Row run, The Chronic, Doggy Style, All Eyes on Me, and then hit P with a cold jab. Nobody in prison was bumping No Limit. And as if that wasn't enough, Suge claimed P never visited him behind bars and even said he only loaned Snoop to No Limit. Come on now. That wasn't just some casual interview. Suge was fighting to protect the last pieces of his legacy, trying to stay relevant while Master P kept climbing. Suge even started clowning Master P's iconic tank logo and that massive No Limit chain like it was a costume. But he didn't stop there. He crossed the line and took shots at how P raised his own kids. Wild, right? But while Suge was throwing rocks from a jail cell, P was outside collecting wins. Music, business, movies, you name it, Master P was dominating it. Suge, on the other hand, was stuck in the past, holding on to dusty memories while P was out here building generational wealth. Then came the real messy stuff. Suge accused P of everything under the sun, said he stole an unreleased Tupac track, jacked ad-libs from female artists, and even bought his own albums just to boost sales. Called him a country bumpkin trying to fake the grind. But here's the truth. Suge's rant said way more about his own insecurities than anything Master P ever did. Because let's be real, even if P took a few notes from Death Row's playbook, he flipped it, cleaned it up, and ran it better. No Limit artists? They got paid, got equity, got control. Death Row artists? They got caught in lawsuits, backstabbing, and courtrooms. No Limit was built on ownership, independence, and opportunity. Death Row? That was fear, chaos, and control. So if Suge was right about one thing, it's this. Yeah, maybe P was trying to do what Death Row did, just like a smart student who plans to outdo the teacher. And guess what? That student didn't just pass the class, he built the school. But Suge Knight wasn't the only one gunning for P's throne. Back in the 90s, there was another heavyweight showdown brewing in the South, Master P vs. Birdman. That's right. While the world watched the East vs. West battle, New Orleans had its own turf battle heating up. No Limit Records versus Cash Money Records. Two monster labels born just blocks apart, but running on totally different energy. On one side, you had Master P, a hustler straight out of the Calliope projects, who took his grind all the way to the West Coast and built a powerhouse in Richmond, California called No Limit. On the other side of the New Orleans rap battle, the brothers Brian Birdman Williams and Ronald Slim Williams, straight out of the Magnolia projects, holding it down with Cash Money Records, right in the heart of Uptown NOLA. Both camps started around the same time, early 90s, right around 91. Both had big dreams, both had something to prove. But even though they were born from the same city, They were never on the same side. No love, no unity, just quiet tension waiting to erupt. Master P was out grinding the independent route, selling tapes from the trunk, building a name block by block, stacking real cash. Meanwhile, Birdman and Slim were building a team of their own. Early Cash Money had names like Kilo G, UNLV, and Pimp Daddy. That got them local buzz. But when they added Lil Wayne, Juvenile, Turk, and BG, and locked in Manny Fresh as their in-house beat god, that's when the formula clicked. They found their flavor and ran with it. At the same time, P was turning No Limit into a full-blown machine. He brought in his blood, Silk the Shocker, and C-Murder, signed Mia X, and had the Beats by the Pound crew, led by KLC, cooking up that gritty No Limit sound. Soon enough, everybody in New Orleans wanted in. Mystical, Fiend, Kane and Abel, Mr. Servon, Soulja Slim, the roster was deep. But P wasn't just chasing gold plaques, he was chasing power, and he got it. That 85/15 distribution deal with Priority Records, all in his favor. Total game changer. That's not just business, that's boss level. No Limit started dropping albums back to back, flooding the streets and racking up millions. Back in the city, Cash Money was definitely heating up, but let's keep it real. They didn't have that No Limit engine, at least not yet. Cash Money was pushing solid numbers on the regional circuit, mostly through Southwest Wholesale. But to go nationwide, they needed that major label boost. That's when the story takes a twist. At one point, Master P's crew actually sat down with Birdman and Slim to talk business, a possible No Limit X Cash Money partnership. Sounds powerful, right? Two Southern giants linking up. But that meeting, it went sideways. Quick. Too many differences. Business style, street rules, and way too much ego. The vibes didn't match. And that deal, dead on arrival. And here's where it gets spicy. Rumor has it that when Priority Records showed interest in Cash Money, Master P stepped in and blocked it. See, Master P repped Calliope, Birdman held down Magnolia, and in New Orleans, project lines weren't just about blocks. They ran deep. It wasn't just neighborhood beef, it was legacy. And P, he wasn't about to open doors for someone from across the way to rise up and shake his throne. But then came 1998, and everything flipped. Cash Money hit big with a distribution deal from Universal Records, an 80-20 split, and a $30 million advance. That bag was loud, and it changed the whole landscape. That same year, Juvenile dropped 400 Degrees, and the South went nuclear. Ha took over the airwaves, and BG's Chopper City and the Ghetto poured gas on the fire. The South wasn't just making noise anymore, it was running the whole game. But No Limit wasn't about to get left in the dust. They hit back hard, signing Snoop Dogg right after his messy exit from Death Row and locking in Soulja Slim, a hometown legend. Snoop wasn't just a big name, he was a power move, a signal to the industry that No Limit wasn't regional. They had reach. That same year, No Limit went on a rampage. 23 albums dropped, over 15 million sold, and $23 million raked in. For a moment, No Limit and Cash Money were running neck and neck, lighting up the streets and dominating every block from the Bay to the Bronx. But then, the storm hit. Soulja Slim was tragically ended, a loss that shook New Orleans to its soul. No Limit, already stretched thin, started to crumble. Then came the fallout with Beats by the Pound, the core production team that built No Limit's signature sound. And by 2004, the label was spiraling, caught in legal headaches, in-house beef, and a market drowning in too much product. Still, what Master P built, untouchable. No Limit didn't just make music, it made history. It changed how artists saw the business. It showed that ownership, independence, and vision could break the system. So if you felt this story, drop a comment, smash that like button, and hit subscribe. Share this with your crew. We've got more untold hip-hop legends coming your way. See you on the next one.